Reader, Professor of Rock here, and I'm celebrating the launch of my new Professor of Rock podcast with a really cool prize you can win. It's a Fender guitar autographed by rock icon and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Alice Cooper. Here's how to register to win. Over the next few weeks, listen for a special code in each of my podcasts. Every time you hear a code, I'll give you the number to text to win. Boom, you're registered. Get the dates and full contest details at PORcontest.com. The new Professor of Rock podcast from Gamma Podcast Network is available right now, wherever you get your podcasts.
Mochi Health is here to help you start your weight loss journey with caring, personalized support. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who truly listen and understand your unique needs. Eligible patients can access affordable GLP-1 medications delivered right to their door each month. No insurance? No problem. Mochi Health accepts FSA and HSA, making care accessible and affordable. And with 24/7 customer service, you'll never feel alone on your path to better health. Get started with Mochi Health today. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com with promo code AUDIO40.
Josh Arnold Investment Consultant brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1576. The record high for this day was 99 degrees in 1976.
Whoa.
I'm going to stop right there. I wonder if that was the day the Twins sold out and the White Sox were wearing shorts. There was a... No, never mind.
That was late 70s.
And the low was 48 degrees in 1895. Call Josh at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Joe, on this day.
Yes.
You're supposed to say what day it is. On this day.
On this day.
July.
She was.
Oh, wait.
Joe.
July 9th.
There
we go.
The Twins were in Boston where they defeated the Red Sox 8-6.
Okay, never mind then. The CEO of a weather modification technology company has confirmed that cloud seeding operations took place in Texas just 2 days before the floods. NBC News reported that Augustus Dorico, the CEO of Rainmaker, a weather modification company, said that planes had released silver iodide in the atmosphere in Texas 2 days prior to the fatal floods. But Dorico claims the cloud seeding operations did not cause the flooding in Texas. Okay. And he goes on to say his company flew a 20-minute cloud seeding mission in south central Texas last Tuesday, but suspended all operations that day due to abnormally high moisture content in the air. And then he claims that the two clouds seeded during the Tuesday flight would have dissipated after a few hours and would have had no effect on the floods several days later, he said. I don't want people to be...
What does that mean to seed a cloud?
Well, I was going to ask you if you knew what that meant.
I'll look it up.
I can help you.
Okay.
I have it right here.
I don't know.
Well, none of us do.
Oh.
All I know is I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't want it to happen.
That's messing with nature.
Cloud seeding involves using chemicals, often particles of silver iodide, to trigger the formation of ice crystals or droplets from water that's already present in a cloud but not being efficiently turned into rain. It sounds to me like a case of man believing he's bigger than nature.
Yep.
Though the technique has been studied for decades, it remains difficult to predict the additional rainfall that cloud seeding operations can generate, with estimates ranging widely from 0% to 20%. What is clear is that the technique would not have been able to generate the record-breaking rainfall seen in Texas. Okay. Based on meteorological evidence, the Texas floods were caused by a powerful natural weather system with thunderstorms fed by very moist air from the warm Gulf, said Andrew Charlton-Perez, professor of meteorology at the University of Reading in the UK. And in a post, Dorico, the Rainmakers CEO, said the last seeding mission prior to the July 4th event was during the early afternoon of July 2nd, and we seeded 2 clouds. He added that those clouds dissipated over 24 hours prior to the developing storm complex that would produce the flooding rainfall. Can we not seed clouds?
I don't think we need to do that. You're messing with nature.
I don't like it.
Let it be natural.
Sometimes
I'm out on a limb, aren't I?
Sometimes it rains.
Sometimes it pours.
Yep.
Sometimes it doesn't.
What are you going to do?
Rain
Can't
in Spain
stand
and
the
pray
rain.
for rain and what was it? Rain and spawn and pray for rain. Rain and sane.
Spawn and Sane.
Oh yeah, spawn and sane. Pray for rain.
Warren Spawn, Johnny Sane.
Thank you. They were with the Milwaukee
Or the
Brewers.
rain in Spain.
Because didn't
Milwaukee
Royce
Braves. I'm sorry, you're right. The
Royce
Braves.
redid that line for the local 9. He said something like Barrios and something Rado and play for a tornado was, I think, Royce's line. I forget who the other pitcher was, but it was very
The
funny.
boys played pretty well last
Hey,
night.
how about that, huh?
Our Fighting Twins had one inning with 3 home runs.
You can really pack them into Target Field when you bring in a first-place club from Chicago.
Well, they had more than 30,000. What a night for a ball game. It'll be the same tonight. Just beautiful.
a lot
How
of
did the
Illinois.
local kid do? How did Michael Bush do?
He's having a good year. He's actually playing really well. I didn't watch any of the game.
Do you feel different today? Do you feel like maybe you're moving a little faster than usual? Anything at all?
I don't know. I
There
got up
has
at
been
6
a-
o'clock today.
a spring in my step today.
Really?
It felt very energetic.
You know why? You're trying to stay ahead of the rotation of the Earth.
Boy, that's tough.
Today, the Earth will do a full rotation faster than ever.
Why?
Why?
I know.
Are we seeding clouds so it makes it go faster?
Nope. We got it right here.
Didn't have tornadoes here
That's right.
until we started putting into traffic
On
circles.
account of.
Because on the count of, you want to know why? That when people go round and round in circles, it causes disturbance in the atmosphere and causes tornadoes.
You know what I'm going to tell you? I think that's real. That isn't a bit.
All right.
I'm
Are you telling
convinced
us
that's a
on
real
account of- you
guy.
wanna know why?
On account of the Earth will spin 1.30 milliseconds faster than usual today.
Wow.
It has something to do with,
Here we go.
Circumference and diameter?
Gravitational pull.
the Earth is expected to complete a full rotation today in roughly 1.30 milliseconds less than the standard 86,400 seconds that define a 24-hour day.
Put it in miles per hour for me.
That's about 28 miles an hour.
Well,
How
If
the
I
hell
s-
am I going to put that into miles
if
per
I
hour?
start at the Atlantic Ocean and I head west, I will head into the sunset, and then the Earth catches up to me and comes up behind me and passes me again before. And if I'm doing 70 miles an hour, so how fast is the Earth going? About 200?
I just turned the page on this story, and it's bad news.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I already know what the bad news is.
It is bad, isn't it, John?
I read ahead already?
I had the story.
John,
okay.
I'm stealing John's thunder.
Literally.
Ba-da-dum-bum.
This represents part of a broader pattern that has scientists scratching their heads.
Oh, I don't like scientists scratching their heads.
After thousands of years of slowing down, the Earth's been spinning faster in recent years.
I know why. It's a real simple answer.
Traffic circles.
The ice cap is melting, and that's causing more volcano.
Wow.
Those volcanoes are spewing out lava and earth, relieving us of that heavy earth core something.
He's half right, Joe?
Something.
How do you know this?
Until 2020, the shortest day ever recorded by atomic clocks was 1.05 milliseconds under the standard length. Since then, Earth has broken that record every year by roughly half a millisecond. Now, if it was the NBA, they'd probably record milliseconds on the clock.
Right.
The shortest day on record was July 5, 2024, just a year ago.
July 5, 2024.
Matt, just a year ago.
About a year ago.
When the Earth completed its rotation in 1.66 milliseconds faster than normal. You can only use atomic clocks for this. Your watch wouldn't, your phone won't do
It's
it.
like a big cuckoo clock.
Do you know how much a millisecond is, Joe?
I don't.
I looked this up when I grabbed the story. It's 1/1000th of a second.
You know what that tells me, John? Why is this even being bothered to be reported?
You got science nerds that are trying to justify hey, we found a new nebula and the Earth is 1 millisecond faster.
I'll tell you why. Because they've got the equipment, they like to brag that they're using it, much like first responders.
Yeah, but so they spend $5 million on a thing that's going to say the Earth is a millisecond faster. I'd rather spend that elsewhere.
Well, here's some commie at the Moscow State University, Leonid Zotov. He's an expert in rotation.
You trust him?
Sure. What the hell?
You a Putin guy?
I don't know. He didn't fall out a window.
All right.
Yet.
Yeah.
He predicted last year that the Earth would begin decelerating, but that hasn't happened yet. So if you feel different today, that's the reason.
If there's a little zip in your step?
1/1000th of a second
does not
I guess could only be measured by something called an atomic clock, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Is that different than an atomic dog?
Yes.
Got it.
Say, back to the Epstein situation.
Oh, boy.
I got no bad email, by the way.
Really?
Zero. I don't know what you were so spun up about yesterday.
Just the implication of the current sitting president.
Well,
not that I disagree with you. I'm just...
Well, here... I didn't even get to the Wall Street Journal yesterday until last night. And one of its editorials not only accepted Bondi's explanation, which shocked me, but they said, essentially, I'm going to paraphrase, they said, well, how do you like it now, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, now that the conspiracies are staring you in the face and you have to do something about it? And it's one thing to bleat about conspiracy when you don't hold a position. Then when you get in a position and have the evidence and the facts presented to you, then what do? So the Wall Street Journal is buying this, which, okay, they're buying it. They're buying the idea that despite the fact that Bondi was bragging about having the list. They're I'm going to take you to Eastern Maryland. I'm sorry, I screwed it up again. Western Maryland.
You got a 50-50 shot.
And I blow it every time.
I know you do.
Why is that?
I don't know, because I'm so familiar with Eastern Maryland and have never been to Western Maryland. But it's from our friend Krista Livingood in Western Maryland. And I like to read her writing because I just like the idea that we're being listened to in Western Maryland. All right?
I wish she'd spread the news to Eastern Maryland as well.
We got a lot of listeners in Annapolis.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you.
And another reason I like to read this could have come from anybody. It happens to be from Krista. This might be what many Americans are thinking.
Okay.
Now, many Americans got the news yesterday of Bondi claiming there's nothing to see here, and they just said okay and went on with their life. But the other irony is that all of the podcast hosts and all of the guys on radio who rubber stamp Trump every day.
Yep.
It's no matter what he says or does, they just rubber stamp him, and he's great. They're up in arms. They can't believe it.
What's going on?
And this idea that Bondi should be fired really amuses me. You think Bondi did this on her own?
No.
Not a chance in hell.
No.
Not a chance in hell. Now back to Krista.
Okay.
Good to see and hear that you and the guys survived your independence celebrations and everyone's digits are intact. I am writing this morning. When was this dated? Today. I'm writing today reacting to the discussion that you and the guys were having about Epstein. Like you and the others, I often feel as though the government is just a nefarious, well-oiled machine, essentially, living as a self-created, self-guided, and self-appointed conglomerate, able to do whatever in the hell they want, whenever they want, and motivated to become the wealthiest group of untouchables that this fine country has to offer. The moment that I heard that Epstein list was never a list, I wanted to climb the tallest mountain and with a big fat megaphone cry out BS. I remember the Bondi press conference and interviews in February. As we've established in previous emails, I am not a fan of our current president. I agree with some of his ideas and policies, but I find his behavior to be the worst representation of what the leader of the free world should behave like. And because I'm surrounded by Trump fans, both at home and at work, we often discuss particular things that go on in politics while expressing our personal feelings. That happens to be the reason that I remember that Ms. Bondi adamantly, categorically, and almost boastfully bragged about having the list. As a matter of fact, Bondi, President Trump, and the entire Fox News crew were giddy, believing that the Clintons were finally going to be caught up in the scandal. A coworker of mine at the time commented that the Democrats were scrambling because they know the Clintons are on the list. Our conversation then went something like this. I said to my coworker, Bill, we'll never see the list. He replied with a grin and a snicker. Oh, the list is coming. Bondi's got it on her desk, and the list is coming out. The Democrats are going to be so sorry. Billy, you're never going to see this list. He said, it's coming. Again, I said, we'll never see the list. I knew we'd never see the list. This is Krista.
Okay.
As I explained to him and will explain to everyone, it isn't the Clintons who don't want the list to come out. It isn't the Trumps who don't want the list to come out. It's not an individual group that's avoiding the release of the list. It is, without a doubt, the entire political and social machine that doesn't want the list released because all of them are on it. But wait, there's more. It's not just politicians who are worried. It's an entire group of rich bleepers who rule the world. And it's not just our knowledge of their pedophilia that frightens them. It's the fact that we dummies down here mingling with commoners, working our small jobs, trying to get by, paying our taxes, educating our children, and hoping to one day retire, might finally figure out their scam. They've conned us into thinking that they are working for us, serving in two political parties that seem to genuinely dislike each other and work against each other. While some of that's true, it really is us versus them. It's us versus the important wealthy people, the kind of people who can make a list disappear, send a man to jail, kill that man while he's in jail, and pay off whoever needs to be paid off to further the scam. It makes my blood pressure go up just talking about it. Joe, when you mentioned Epstein's background, teaching, investment banking, and sudden wealth, I decided to look a bit further into his background. Let me warn you ahead of time, I read most of it on Wikipedia, so take it with whatever seriousness or believability and grain of salt you would like for Wikipedia. Yeah, the unfortunate part about Wikipedia is that it's just written by anybody who wants to write for it.
Right, there's accounting.
You can, when I'm reading them, I mentally edit as I go through it and see if things are plausible. And she says, that being said, I believe I can make a connection with his employment, the pedophilia, and his demise. In a profile of Epstein in New York Magazine in 2002, Donald Trump remarked, I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it, Jeffrey enjoys his social life. From the 1990s to the mid-2000s, author Michael Wolff wrote that Trump, Epstein, and Tom Barrack were at the time like a set of nightlife musketeers on the social scene. In a 2017 meeting, Epstein stated that he was Donald's closest friend for 10 years. Likewise, in 2002, a spokesman for Bill Clinton lauded Epstein as a committed philanthropist with insights and generosity. At the time, Epstein was on the board of Rockefeller University, a member of the Trilateral Commission and a Council of Foreign Relations, and was a major donor to Harvard University. Epstein visited the White House while Clinton was president on 4 known occasions. Therefore, on its surface, the relationship between Epstein and these figures seems cordial, at the very least. However, what I've discovered, given the credence you want to give to Wikipedia, is that Epstein was much more than a guy who facilitated these rendezvous with young women. According to Wikipedia, after being dismissed from the staff of the Dalton School for inappropriate contact with students, a teaching position where he had no credentials, Epstein entered the financial world. He was able to move up in the company. However, I may have found the source for his wealth and how it was amassed. On account of, you want to know why?
Yeah.
There are sources who say that Epstein stated to people during the 80s that he was an intelligence agent. During the 1980s, Epstein possessed an Austrian passport that had his photo but with a false name. The passport showed his place of residence as Saudi Arabia. In 2017, a former senior White House official reported that Alexander Acosta, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida who had handled Epstein's criminal case in 2008, had stated to interviewers of Trump's first transition team, "I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone, and that Epstein was above his pay grade." Additionally, during this period, one of Epstein's clients was the Saudi Arabian businessman Adnan Khashoggi, who also was the middleman in transferring American weapons from Israel to Iran as part of the Iran-Contra affair in the 1980s.
Adnan Khashoggi is one of the richest men in the world at the time.
Khashoggi was one of several defense contractors that Epstein knew. In the mid-'80s, Epstein traveled multiple times between the U.S., Europe, and Asia. During a case against Epstein in 2006, the FBI began investigating Epstein and eventually ended the investigation, agreeing to a plea deal. According to the Miami Herald, the non-prosecution agreement essentially shut down an ongoing FBI probe into whether there were more victims and other powerful people who took part in Epstein's sex crimes. At the time, this halted the investigation and sealed the indictment. Alexander Acosta, U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida, later said he offered a lenient plea deal because he was told that Epstein belonged to intelligence and was above his pay grade and to leave it alone. Epstein allegedly lent girls to powerful people to ingratiate himself with them and also to gain possible blackmail information. Epstein implied that he had blackmail material when he told a New York Times reporter in 2018 off the record that he had dirt on powerful people, including information about their sexual proclivities and recreational drug use. So there it is, Joe, the key word blackmail. Blackmail is how he got his money, and blackmail likely got him killed. All my love and best wishes.
Wow.
So the key part of her musing is the idea that the people who don't want any of this revealed is all of them.
It's unanimous.
Not that they're all pedophiles, probably, but there may be a glimmer of truth in the idea that they don't want us having sunshine cast on their scam.
Guilt by association?
No, they don't want us to know what they so routinely get away with.
Wow. Third rail.
Yep.
Laws don't apply to me.
Right.
Jeez. Woo! What a club to be in. That's better than the NFL Owners Club.
Well, plus, what if Epstein's a CIA agent?
What if he's still alive?
Kenny, nothing would surprise
What
me.
if Hillary went into the cell, grabbed him, and smuggled him out in the laundry basket?
Hillary, again, I will say what I said yesterday. This isn't Hillary. We're way beyond Hillary.
We're a little above that Arkansas pay grade.
I think so.
Okay.
Well, even remember, she talked about Acosta in there, the guy who prosecuted him first and let him off with lenient.
Yeah.
Remember, he became Trump's labor secretary in his first term. So, I mean, everybody's tied up with everybody.
You're saying it's very incestuous.
Man alive. Now, well, I'll ask this question when we return because, we're talking about a world in which you need lawyers. No matter what you do.
You're a lawyer.
Well, GLers go for Bradshaw and Bryant personal injury attorneys because if you're like me or many people, you might not know what to do if you're ever injured in an accident. It can be a hassle. The insurance companies and the adjusters, they have their job to do, and you need someone you need a team to help you through it, and that's Bradshaw and Bryant. They'll explain your rights and represent you and help you through that tough time. Mike Bryant has been 6 years in a row one of the top lawyers in the state, according to Minnesota Law and Politics, the Bible of such things. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com for a free case evaluation. Bradshaw and Bryant does not want you to be part of the problem. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
A good cup of coffee at a reasonable price. Actually, that should read an amazing cup of coffee at a reasonable price. I cannot believe this coffee I've been drinking for the last couple of weeks, and you will too. It's from our GLers at customroasting.net, a wonderful little roasting facility right here in Minnesota. They offer a variety of flavors, but and it's whole bean or ground, whatever you want, but they do it a little different. They hand roast it right in downtown Buffalo, a small operation. I think there's only like 5 employees there. And being smaller means being faster and more efficient and way fresher. What they do here is they only roast enough beans to fill the orders they just received. That means no shelf time whatsoever. It goes from the roaster into the bag and onto your house. And it's so amazing. I've been drinking French roast for, the last 40 years. And I thought I was drinking the best. I drank some of this from customroasting.net, and then I went back to my flavor, and I discovered what I had been drinking all this year. It was like battery acid. It was so acidic and nasty. This French roast from customroasting.net is smooth, baby. Every time that annoying thing that people do when they drink coffee and they go, I do that every single time.
I do it all the time.
Every single time. You've got to get to the website, snoop around. You'll read their story, find out what they are and where they've been and what they do. And then click on Shop tab. It's up at the top. And you're going to notice that we have a Garage Logic variety pack. It includes 4 10-ounce bags of various beans. And boy, is it good. John, you did that, right?
I did, yes. And this morning, first try, I did the French roast because, I love good French roast also.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Smooth and nice flavor. Just,
The roommate is in love with the Boundary Waters blend. She really likes that. This coffee, seriously, I'm not joking. This is no hyperbole. For me, it was a life changer. I'm a big-time coffee snob. I drink it all day long, and this stuff is really good. A good cup of coffee at a reasonable price from customroasting.net.
A great unanswered question. There's many if you tried to plot this story out.
What is that?
How did it get so far that the top law enforcement agent in the country, the U.S. Attorney General, said in February, I've got the list on my desk?
Okay, physically, in front of him.
How did it get that far without the machinery nipping that in the bud so she wouldn't have said such a thing?
That's a really good question.
It could have been an afterthought because that would have been, they would have had that close to the chest right off the bat.
Was it just braggadocio, Joe? Just, puffing the chest up and saying, I'm the real deal?
Was Bondi not yet been brought into the loop?
Do you think it was a lie? Do you think he was just saying that?
Bondi's a he.
Bondi.
I don't know. That's the question. Why did it get so far that Bondi was actually exciting the American public with the prospect of getting to the bottom of this? And then suddenly, 2 days ago, Bondi says, there is no list, there's nothing to see here, and we're supposed to believe that.
I think the first reaction where she said, I have it, is just pure swagger. That's all that is. I'm the real deal. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. I have the list. Something's going to happen. And then I think you're right. The intelligence services swooped in and shut it all down.
Or it was just pure bragging, and she said she had it, but she didn't, which is pure bragging.
Yeah. Does it matter?
It only matters because pedophiles should suffer the worst fates of humanity. Yeah. So, yes,
Agreed.
It matters.
Do you believe there's a list, a book? Do you believe that?
Yes, I do.
I believe that Epstein had that, and that's why they had to grab him.
I do, too. I believe that he was told not to. He was told to never reveal any of this. We'll take care of you. Look at these houses we've given you and all the rest of this stuff. But he had a big, thick volume.
So, we're double speaking here. So we believe our intelligence community, that's the wrong word, sorry, you can go ahead and foghorn that they're good enough to create this honeypot scenario, but they're not good enough to get rid of the list and shut him down before it got to that point. You know what I'm trying to say here?
It's...
What about a fake list? Why don't they throw us a bone and just say, hey, here's the list, and have some made-up names? I got to serve a couple people up. And
you know what else is interesting is the amount of time.
Wait a minute. Are you saying indict a bunch of innocent people?
Throw them in there. Hey, John, he's
Mo
really...
Howard.
He's a C.
Joe Abbott. Frankie Costello. I don't know what their names are.
No matter what side of the political aisle it is, they mimic like they're working for us. They go through
they're fighting for us.
Yeah, they go through the motions, but really the people really running the show, they're spending all their time covering themselves. That they don't give a bleep about your hardware store or your school.
So, is there a backstage list here? And that's probably a poor way of putting it. How far down the political ladder do these privileges go? Like the AOCs, the senators, the representatives, are they part of that?
Because you know what, Kenny, you're right. Because where the line is cut off, those people that are just about at the edge are the ones that are going to be the biggest complainers.
Yeah, what I'm thinking of is a nightclub, an exclusive nightclub where the regular folks are. You have the back room, then you have the back room, and only the real big stars are in the back room.
Well, it might be the people in the back room who are the ones pulling these strings, and I don't know to which level the favors are granted.
It's so funny that this has become a nonpartisan issue that everybody is outraged.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that's going to bring this country together.
Yeah, like I say, all the guys who go on podcasts every day or on radio every day and they just lick Trump's boots, they're angry.
Well, we all want to kill pedophiles. We all hate the pedophiles.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We do.
What do we do then, though, with the likes of Bongino, who is one of the biggest critics of this, saying, let's get this out there? Well, now he's assistant FBI director, and he's saying, nothing to see here.
Well,
folks.
that was the Wall Street Journal's take. The Wall Street Journal take is Bongino was the one crying the loudest about let's reveal. Yeah. And now he's with the FBI, and according to the Wall Street Journal, once he has presented the evidence, he is strangely quiet.
Joe, it's the Gary Hart effect.
Yeah.
He found, wait a minute, I'm on the list?
Yeah. This is, Chris is onto something. This is a full-blown panic on the part of the cabal, whoever they are. This is full-blown panic because the curtain almost got drawn open on what these idiots really do.
Yep.
And again, not that they're all pedophiles. That's not plausible, is it? It's not plausible that the wealthiest people in the world and the potentates and the kings and the princes are all pedophiles. I don't believe that.
Agreed.
But they all know that some of their like are pedophiles, and they haven't done anything about it. They're in full-blown panic. Now, today, there's hardly a word about it.
Yeah.
There's no word about it in the news I read today. None.
The president did address it yesterday
What did
during
he say?
The cabinet meeting. Somebody asked a question about it, and he said, why are we still talking about this, basically? We did, he was a bad guy, et cetera, et cetera. It took him 30 seconds, dismissed it, and that was the end of the conversation about
But Trump,
Epstein.
you told everybody you'd see to it. You'd release this. Again, Bondi didn't do this on her own. This was an instruction.
Yeah.
It was either from Trump or whoever's above Trump that we didn't elect.
Whether or not he did, and also could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure. If I
Could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
There it is.
This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention.
Is this Bondi?
Because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file, along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every year, every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's
okay, whatever. Well,
So that's her story.
With Epstein being dead, you can say anything you want about him. You can dump it all on him. Or it's the way they're explaining it to us. I didn't really have a list. It was part of a file of additional matters. And we found child pornography, which is so dreadful that, of course, we're not going to harm those victims of it by making this public or anything. This was all Epstein. Trump says this was all Epstein. Okay, that's what we are left with. That's what they've given us. This is Epstein. Okay. Unfortunately, he ain't around to question.
Right.
You're not accepting that, are you?
I can't. It's preposterous.
Thank you.
It's preposterous.
Yeah.
It's preposterous to accept their explanation.
And keep that in mind with everything they tell us. Everything.
Or a Democrat in the office. It doesn't make any difference.
I can't believe we fight over who's going to be in office and who's better when they're
what difference does it make?
Seriously, what are we doing here?
I think it's full-blown panic on their part. And Trump, you just heard him. He wants to pretend this is not a big deal. Well, he's talked about it for years. He's also supposedly they were best friends. He's going to throw you under the bus anyway, and he just did. But it's easy for them now to say it's all Epstein. They got rid of Epstein. What kind of prison video security system is it where 1 minute's missing every night?
Did Richard
They're covering
Nixon?
up the missing minute by
Nixon
saying, well, there's
designed
a
that.
missing minute every night.
It's almost like
You got to get a new company to come in. You're paying for a minute that ain't there.
Wouldn't it have been great if they said, "Oh, it's daylight savings. We had to move the clocks an hour back."
The Earth was going a millisecond faster.
Yeah, it was
Tape couldn't catch
it was
up.
today.
Tape couldn't catch
When
up.
the Earth is rotating faster today, and the film didn't pick it up.
Okay, item B. What about her? She would have had a copy, or she would have had access.
Who?
She's
Bondi?
still alive. No,
Giselle.
Oh, Giselle.
She's alive. She knows something.
Maybe.
There's no way with those two connected at the hip, so to speak, that she didn't have access to, or he said, if something happens to me, it's in the safe. Here's the lock combo.
I don't know. Maybe it's been arranged that she can't be talked to. I don't know.
She was granted immunity.
No, she's in jail.
She's in prison.
She's in prison.
Are we sure about that?
I was just making a joke.
It's a double? Think it's a double? Like a Saddam Hussein kind of deal?
What's that Greek island JFK was supposed to be on? Mythos, or maybe that's where Epstein is.
Could be.
Should we drop this because we're no better than anybody else with our
Well,
guesswork?
Trump can't believe we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
You just heard him.
Okay, that is one of the most sane things I have heard him, one of the most presidential things I have heard him say in a long time. Are we still talking about this?
Or
CYA?
Or he's in full panic.
Okay, well, that could be too.
Nothing to see here. Let's move along.
Move along here. Right along.
Say, I want you to take care of your garage door with Precision Door MN. They serve western Wisconsin, the entire metro area. They not only take care of the routine service calls and do it expertly and efficiently, they let you know when you're coming. They don't charge more for emergency weekend visits. But best of all, you can get a new door from Precision Door. They have models for every budget. They send out a designer. That consultation, of course, is free of charge. And you can select a new door from Precision Door. And if you do now, GLers get $100 off a new single door and $200 off a double door.
Nice.
So you want to take advantage of that. You know, you might as well change doors in the summer So when it's off there for a while, it's not 30 below in your garage.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Huh?
Yeah.
You can book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call Precision Door at 612-263-6985.
Hey, GLers, it's Reavers here once again for my friends at North American Banking Company. I'm really glad that I made the switch and got to know my friends at North American Banking Company because it's banking done differently. It truly, truly is. They take the time to get to know you, your family, your budgetary needs, and in some cases, whether you're looking to improve your business. Check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. When you walk into any one of their 6 beautiful Twin Cities locations, you immediately feel the difference. It's Roseville, 50th and France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. They offer all of the services as the other big national banks. Whether you're looking to buy a home, finance a new home renovation project, or get that new car that you've been thinking about, my friends at North American Banking Company are going to be able to help you out. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as the other banks, but the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. Locally owned and operated, and that means loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They are not sent out of state. So once again, check them out online. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
If you have cylinders, you need Seafoam. If you have sea-going cylinders, you can kill that video. You need Marine Pro cylinders. That's what saved my bacon over the 4th of July week. The SS Bummer, a.k.a. Cirrhosis of the River, a.k.a. D's Nuts. It was running like a pig because of the owner's negligence. And after switching to new gas and then giving that new gas a generous, deep pour of Seafoam, it fully recovered, the carb cleaned out, and I was able to motor around the lake without any further issues, ensuring a festive, fun week for the 4th. The Marine Pro, it works like all the other Seafoam products. Miraculously, it cleans fuel systems, it lubricates critical parts, it stabilizes fuel. You got to use it for it to stabilize fuel, right? You got to remember to put some Seafoam in that gas. As a matter of fact, add it to every tank of fuel to make sure that marine engine always starts faster, runs smoother, and lasts longer. Seafoam Marine Pro, a wonderful product in a world of old and nasty bad gas.
John Heidt, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company. Update to a story we had yesterday. The man arrested in connection to his son's death now has been officially charged in Anoka County. Yesterday, early this morning, court records show 38-year-old Jordan Dupree Collins Sr., formally charged with 1 count of second-degree murder for allegedly killing his son, 16-year-old Jordan Manny Collins, Jr. of Columbia Heights. During his first appearance, a judge set Collins' bail at $2 million with conditions. That would be turning over his passport, no weapons, and not leaving Minnesota, and at $3 million without conditions. The state argued Collins is an incredible risk to public safety, and he's a flight risk because he's transient. His next court date has been scheduled for August 4th. Manny Collins had been reported missing back in May, and his remains were found nearly 2 months later. According to the criminal complaint filed today, preliminary autopsy findings showed there was, quote, evidence of decapitation by knife, and classified the death as a homicide. Collins was arrested Monday on suspicion of second-degree murder in connection with the death. His body found in an Elk River landfill after a weeks-long search of the area. The state has yet to make good on a promise to help fix the Rapidan Dam, which partially failed 1 year ago this summer. Days after the failure, you remember Governor Walz told taxpayers in Blue Earth County they would not shoulder the burden of the disaster alone. The failure happened after a record-setting amount of rain carved a new path for the Blue Earth River around the debris-clogged Rapidan Dam. The county is working on plans to remove the dam, but it comes at a steep cost. Preliminary cost, $60 to $75 million for the project. The governor returned to the dam in January and pledged $10 million for the recovery of the dam in this year's bonding bill. But that money didn't make it to the final bonding bill passed by the legislature. Our friends at 5 Investigates asked the governor about what happened to that money. He said, quote, "I said the bonding bill is always a tough one. It takes a supermajority. Our commitment is there to make sure, though, that it gets done." Walz went on to describe this as an annual project and said, "We'll be back at it." Meanwhile, the planning and preparation to remove the damaged dam continues in Blue Earth County, regardless of the funding that will be in place for it. A man who was stuck in a sewer in St. Paul for 3 to 4 days was rescued yesterday by the St. Paul Fire Department. St. Paul Fire's Advanced Technical Rescue Team responded to 435 University Avenue at 11 in the morning for a person in a sewer opening who needed help getting out. It's unclear how he was found, but the fire department says someone in the area probably heard him calling for help and called them. The man was found 10 to 12 feet below ground in the sewer opening. Using a rope rescue system, the ATR team successfully brought the man to street level. He was alert and conscious, evaluated by first responders at the scene, and then taken to the hospital.
John, I got a note today from Sean Kershaw, who's the director of Public Works in St. Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And he, he's not being facetious, they don't know yet. Could this be the perpetrator who was removing storm sewer grates in town? They don't know that yet. And I emailed him back and I said, if it was the perpetrator, I just would have left him in there.
Yeah, right. See you, bud.
Yeah.
And Sean probably didn't say anything, being an official of the city.
He emailed me, even though he's off this week. And then when I responded to him, I got one of those automatic deals where it says the guy's out of town or whatever.
That sounds like me when I send you a text and then I leave the conversation.
right before you can respond.
But, that's a very plausible that this is the same moron who's been removing sewer grates in town at great risk to children.
Yes. The state fair sneaking up. 43 days, I think, something like that.
I'm looking forward to it. I like the fair. We're there for 2 one-hour shows this year.
2 one-hour shows.
On the big stage, right?
Yep.
KSTP stage?
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Well, there will be new foods for us to taste.
We fall for this.
Wait, where are we?
State fair.
We're on the KSTP stage.
Oh.
We fall for this every year. The new food, that's as anticipated as the NFL schedule. We got the new food list.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Now, Rookie, you're our food guy.
Yeah.
Have you been in concert with Heidt to discuss this?
I have not been in concert with Mr. Heidt, but I've been very interested in seeing some of the new food items. And I don't
let's let John.
of them all.
Well, let's let John finish, and then I have questions for you.
Go right ahead.
I just grabbed a few here because there's 33 new ones. So
is that a record, John? I wonder, a fair record?
I don't know. It's a lot, though, isn't it? Birthday cake cookie dough on a stick at Cora and Mila's Cookie Dough.
Just a minute. Let me just get this out here. This is just.
You're going to have sound effects here.
Oh, we got to just do this. All right.
No, it's just cake batter cookie dough made from scratch, covered in a crunchy cake confetti shell and topped with sprinkles and served on a stick.
Oh, boy.
So, there you go.
Yeah.
At the Minnesota Farmers Union coffee shop, the Bison Meatball Sub. Bison and bacon meatballs topped with bison gravy, quick pickled cucumbers, crispy fried onions, and sour cream.
Why? Finish before I go on my rant.
Served on a toasted wild rice hoagie bun.
Ooh.
Why do you have to go insane? You had me at buffalo meatball something.
Thank
then
you.
Thank you. All that extra garbage on it. What are you doing?
Onions, sour cream.
Just drizzle it with gravy and send me on my way.
That's kind of
pay attention to these.
I've got it right up here.
It's kind of the theme, Kenny, on all of these. Some of them get pretty complex.
You know what we call that? They get doctored up.
I have the same thing to say to restaurants. Stop trying to gussy up the cheeseburger. It's a bacon cheeseburger. Just let it be itself.
Thank you.
The cannoli gelato nachos at our friends at Mancini's.
Well, if it's for Mancini's, it's going to be good.
Well,
it looks pretty good.
What is that? Gelato? Isn't that ice cream?
Well, go ahead, John. I'm sorry.
It's
Shoemaker guy.
cannoli chips topped with a scoop of cannoli-flavored gelato, finished with chocolate sauce, rainbow sprinkles, and a cherry.
Oh,
So you
I
think
see.
of the
It's a
cannoli
dessert.
that's rolled up.
It's a
These
dessert.
These are flat. So they're just taking flat cannoli chips, throwing them in there, throwing some gelato, chocolate sauce, whatever you want. It's a good
It's a dessert.
Yeah, it's a good dessert.
Yeah.
You know one of the best lines from The Godfather, right?
No.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yeah, that's
after he
right.
shoots the police chief.
That's right, yeah.
In the restaurant.
Yeah.
Then, at Soul Bowl, chicken fried bacon fries.
Chicken fried bacon fries.
Beef bacon strips, double breaded in tempura flour and fried, and then garnished with fresh parsley and served in a cup with a choice of 2 dipping sauces. Cashville Hot, a brown sugar Nashville-style hot sauce, or 24-karat Gold Barbecue, a passion fruit Charleston Gold barbecue sauce.
How can there be such a thing as beef bacon?
Yeah, I was wondering that myself.
That's a pork deal.
The reason why the French fry stand, the turkey stand, Sweet Martha stands are so successful.
It's simple.
Thank you.
This one, I would eat 10 of these at El Burrito Mercado. Seasoned, they're called flauta dippers, seasoned shredded chicken stuffed in rolled corn tortillas and fried, served in a cup with mild tomatillo sauce, sour cream, and crumbled cotija cheese.
Okay, now that sounds like they've kept the doctoring to a minimum.
Yes.
Yes, it's not too fancy. And El Burrito Mercado puts out a quality
Is
product.
anybody doing the Kenny cone? That would be one of those giant wafer ice cream cones filled with flavored cottage cheese. It's always been a dream of mine to eat cottage cheese without a spoon.
Or the chow cone. A cone full of
Thank
chow
you, Don
mein.
Riley.
Yeah.
How about Freaky Friday, F-R-Y, get it?
Yeah.
F-R-Y, Friday? Yeah. Okay. Chicken fried vegan bacon.
Nope.
Served with vegan fried chicken strips infused with bacon flavor. Optional toppings include mini donut cinnamon sugar and maple syrup, pickle seasoning and ranch dressing, spicy buffalo sauce, and dragon dust, or a combination of all three.
See, they went overboard there. That's just ridiculous.
One step too far.
Does anybody have just a simple cup of gravy? I'd like a cup of gravy and a straw.
Cup of gravy.
Like all-you-can-eat milk. They
Well,
just
no,
have
we were.
gravy
Didn't we
for
have
25
sponsors one year, and one of them was gravy on a stick?
Gravy on a stick was our. Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. Or almost 2
frozen.
years
It was
ago.
frozen gravy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's one I like all these ingredients, but I'm not sure about it. It's at Fluffy's Hand Cut Donuts. Hot honey jalapeno popper donuts. Hand cut yeast raised donut, frosted with homemade jalapeno cream cheese, topped with crumbled bacon, pickled jalapenos, and drizzled with hot honey.
I hope they sell a lot. It's just not. They're not going to sell one to me.
You know what would be interesting, and not interesting for me. Not interesting enough for me to actually find out.
Yeah.
But these are all flashes in the pan. You get what I'm saying? They might not be back next year.
Yeah, they're here for a year. And
What
gone.
you need to pick a year, say 2005, and go back, and you could probably find what new foods were introduced in 2005. How many of them are still on the fairgrounds?
Yeah.
I bet 98% of these new things are not back next year.
However, inside fair information, the fair does recommend that every year you, as a vendor, try something new. Freshen it up, even though
Give me a
Lulu's, Mancini's, Sweet Martha's, French fries.
That's the fair's way of keeping them on their toes.
Yeah, they want you to drum something up. Go ahead.
Here's an idea. The roommate, instead of bringing a flask full of this stuff, would like just a simple can. She wants to pop the top on a can of ranch dressing. Could you do that for her?
That's a pretty good idea.
Just keep it with you. Just throw it all over everything.
Instead of putting it in a flask and carrying it around.
Just in a nice can, aluminum can.
Our friends Giggles Campfire Grill, they always come up with some very good stuff. Again, a lot of great ingredients here, but boy, it's a unique thing. It's called a timber twist, a savory mixture of Italian sausage, mozzarella.
You got me right there. Okay.
Yep. Cream cheese.
Jesus, you guys are starting to lose me.
And barbecue rub.
Nope.
Put into 3 large manicotti shells, then wrapped in bacon. That's a lot of things.
Boy, that's a lot of different stuff you got going there.
The picture looks pretty good.
Any
It does,
spam?
it
They have
does.
spam at the fair? I bet they have spam.
I'm sure there's a spam
Didn't
somewhere.
they have deep fried spam?
I'm thinking of
last
Kenny.
year?
I mean, he would like some spam.
But Chef Boyar raviolis on a stick.
Yep.
That would be
Why don't
good.
we,
Served
why don't we
cold.
take a
We better
quick,
take a time
quick
out.
break here and move
I'm
on.
hungry.
One of the neat things about having a whole home water treatment system is you never have to buy a bottled water. And that's, of course, unless you go out of town like I'm currently doing. But that's the beauty of a brand new whole home water treatment system offered by my friends at Hofferman Water in Connecticut. There are so many benefits that go beyond just that treatment system for hard water, iron, and chlorine. But having that fully third-party certified reverse osmosis system can take reduced contaminants that are commonly found in water in both city water and also well water. And I made that switch. In fact, when I moved into my home 3 years ago, that's the very first thing we did is at Hofferman Water and Connecticut install a whole home water treatment system. And it has made an amazing difference in the quality of my water, and it will do the exact same thing for you too. But you have to get on that schedule and have them come out to give you that free water analysis. And when they do that, they're going to give you what's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they're going to offer you solutions to make your water just as amazing as mine is. So check them out online today. It's HoffermanWater.com. You can book that appointment, and you can also see every single water treatment system that they have to offer. And you can also give them a call directly to book that appointment at 612-895-2440. Either way, get on the schedule and have them come up for that free water analysis. And that's because Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them right here on the Garage Logic podcast.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Don't even bring up the R word for this weekend. Here's the official New Richmond forecast from the National Weather Service. Saturday during the day, mostly sunny, 78, a light northwest wind. And then Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 59. That is a perfect forecast for the Garage Logic Summer of Cylinders celebration at Cedar Lake Speedway over there in Wisconsin. We're going to start the day with a very British car show. It starts around noon, runs all afternoon in the parking lot of the arena. Really easy to find once you go in the main gate, hang a left, follow the track over to the back stretch, and that's where the fireworks commissioner will reveal to us one of his fine crafted British chariots. There'll be a pop-up there. You'll be able to find them. The whole gang will be milling about and showing up, sometime after 3, and then all of you are invited to stick around for free and witness the raucous fun of dirt track racing. If you're a town council member, you're going to get a coupon for a free meal. That's cool. And then you can hang out with me up in the tailgate ramp area. The racing runs 6 to 10. We're going to have a pop-up there. I'm going to have my truck and the whole tailgating. You're going to see my tailgating kit, what I do when I go to races. It's a lot of fun. Did I say it's free? That's a $25 value, and it's this Saturday. Please join us. We'd love to spend some time with you. More information, you can go to garagelogic.com and track information at CedarLakeSpeedway.com.
Joe, what do you picture when you think of Kenny's tailgating kit?
Well,
A dead
oddly,
raccoon?
it's funny you asked because I was thinking, do you have that Mr. thing? A Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair is always in my
Does
truck.
that go right in the trailer hitch?
I think so.
Mr. Chair.
Actually, what do I reveal it now? I've got a rig that goes into my trailer hitch that holds a giant umbrella.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And then I've got rocking swivel cushion chairs.
Wow.
That I set in the back. I put a platform up on the bed rails, so I have a 2-tier bleacher system in the back of my truck.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we do it up.
Nice. In national and international news, President Trump upset with Russian President Vladimir Putin at that same cabinet meeting yesterday that we played a cut from earlier. He said about Putin, quote, "I'm not happy with Putin. I can tell you
which one are you?
I can tell you that much right now," expressing frustration with the Russian leader over the war in Ukraine. He added, "We get a lot of BS," although he didn't say BS, if you know what I'm saying. We get a lot of BS thrown at us by Putin. He's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. He made that comment while saying the U.S. will be giving Ukraine more weaponry to fight Russia with. Reports from sources inside the White House say the president was blindsided by the Pentagon report a couple of weeks ago saying that weapons being given to Ukraine will be halted for now. The president apparently wasn't consulted on the matter, according to the sources, and is reversing that Pentagon announcement. Supreme Court yesterday lifting a judge's order preventing the Trump administration from conducting mass layoffs across the federal bureaucracy, for now anyway. The court, in its unsigned ruling, said Trump's February executive order directing federal agencies to prepare for reductions is likely lawful. It will enable federal agencies to resume implementing Trump's directive, though the high court left the door open for plaintiffs to challenge any agency's specific plan down the road. This morning, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, former President Biden's White House doctor, declined to answer questions before the House Oversight Committee as part of a Republican-led investigation into Biden's mental fitness and health while in office. House Republicans, led by Representative James Comer, subpoenaed O'Connor in June, ordering him to testify as part of the investigation into what they called the cover-up of Joe Biden's cognitive decline. Biden dropped his bid for re-election after that debate performance last year raised concerns about his age and mental fitness. After leaving office, he's come under renewed scrutiny since revealing he had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer and the publication of books alleging a cover-up of his decline while he was in office. He strongly rejects the notion that he had been mentally unfit at any point during the presidency, calling the allegations ridiculous and false. Today, O'Connor's attorneys, David Schroeder and Mark McDougall, released a statement on behalf of their client stating the totality of the circumstances surrounding this committee's investigation leave Dr. O'Connor no choice but to decline to answer questions. The statement said the physician-patient privilege and physician's ethical duty of confidentiality require that O'Connor refuse to testify.
I bet he's best friends with Fauci. I bet he's best friends with
Why
Fauci.
do they think he would reveal anything? That's privileged. I mean, I would like to know, but why do they think he would say anything?
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly.
More flash flooding, this time in New Mexico. 3 people killed in southern New Mexico after heavy rains fell on scorched ground and triggered flash floods yesterday. The state's governor declaring a state of emergency. A middle-aged man and 2 kids, aged 7 and 4, died after being swept away by floodwaters. Dozens of people trapped in their homes or caught in fast-moving water were rescued by emergency crews who were continuing with search and rescue operations overnight and into the morning hours. Meanwhile, in Texas, at least 161 people are known to be missing in Kerr County, Texas, following the catastrophic flooding this past weekend. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said at a news conference yesterday that 109 fatalities have been confirmed, including 94 in Kerr County and 15 in other parts of Texas. A malaria treatment for newborns has received approval from Switzerland's medical regulator, marking the world's first specifically for infants battling the deadly mosquito-borne illness. Named Cortum Baby, the drug combines artemether and lumefantrine, the same ingredients used for older children and adults, and is now authorized for infants between 4.4 and 11 pounds. In 2023, an estimated 597,000 people died from malaria worldwide, 95% of those deaths occurring in sub-Saharan Africa. Sean Diddy Combs will be sentenced October 3rd for his 2 prostitution convictions after his lawyers and the prosecution reached an agreement. The rap mogul's lawyers formally proposed the October 3rd sentencing in a letter to the judge, noting prosecutors and probation officers had agreed to the schedule. The defense's sentencing memorandum would be due on September 19th. The government's would be due a week later per the memorandum. Lawyers for both sides participated in a brief telephone conference on Tuesday afternoon with neither Combs nor anybody else in his team present. Combs, who faced a nearly 2-month-long trial, was found guilty on just 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, acquitted of sex trafficking and racketeering charges. The government pushing for a 10-year sentence on each charge. That would be 20 years total.
Woo.
Barbie is launching its first doll with type 1 diabetes, Mattel announced yesterday.
Is that a big girl?
You have to give it shots?
Is it a big Barbie?
It's not. It's,
Hey, Barbie.
it looks like Barbie. It looks
You
like
do
Barbie.
realize that all sizes of people have diabetes,
I
right?
thought-
Is that plain? That's not plain in
It
your
was
world?
not plain to me. I'm sorry.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I guess I am serious.
Are you serious?
Chunky Barbie?
You serious, Clark?
Serious, Clark? The new doll features a continuous glucose monitor and insulin pump, two medical devices that
This is
people
pretty fun for the kids, huh?
that people use.
Is there
carry-
C-section Barbie? Do we have that? Stripper Barbie?
Yeah, is there a Barbie with a pole?
Knife wound Barbie?
Yeah, she comes with a Wisconsin driver's license.
Tattooed Barbie?
Anyway, it's a
Tramp stamp Barbie?
chronic condition.
Fetish
where
Barbie, complete with the dog collar.
the body doesn't
Dominating Barbie.
Yeah.
enough of the insulin hormone. The toy company teamed up with the nonprofit.
Did the kids give Barbie a shot or something?
It has a pump.
Pump?
You don't have to give yourself shots all the time. Now, some people use
My
pumps.
mom had to give herself a shot.
Yeah,
But
some
that
people
was
still do.
I think she was only diabetic if she was pregnant. So she gave herself
she'd get
about
the
1,000
diabetes,
shots
the
because she
diabetic.
was always pregnant.
Can you pay extra for the Barbie if you want to give her the shot? Pay a little extra.
No, she kept a jar there, and every day, but
Did she have just
and then a couple of weeks would go by, and she'd be pregnant again.
That's what they told you guys anyway.
That's right. That's
Right.
the rule.
How can you say that about your mom?
Well, it's the truth. I mean, pop them out one after the other.
According to Mattel, Barbie's continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, is held in place with heart-shaped medical tape in a Barbie pink hue that's paired with a toy phone that displays a CGM app that helps Barbie track her blood sugar levels throughout the
Are
day.
you still talking about this?
I am. Barbie also carries an insulin pump that's connected to her waist.
Well, that's pretty inclusive, isn't it, John?
It really is.
It's pretty
I actually, at my reunion, ran into an old buddy who wears one of those monitors.
Oh, yeah.
And it has an automatic feed.
I know people who have them, and it's just...
Are they all fat because you think
No,
they're all fat?
now that you mention it, not at all. So I guess I was wrong about that. But they got the automatic thing. Sometimes you can hear it.
Yeah, it makes some noises to get.
Here we go.
Are there Barbies that cover every aspect of life? Is there sorority Barbie, down on her luck Barbie? I mean,
yeah,
cirrhosis Barbie.
Yeah, right.
I know you guys are just making fun, but see, this Barbie actually kind of teaches something, don't you think?
Oh,
down on your
Barbies
luck,
teach.
Barbie. She's got no teeth.
Right.
Hey,
Yes.
homeless Barbie.
She'll
How
do
about a
anything.
homeless
Exactly.
Barbie?
No, it's unhomed, please. Get it right.
Meth Barbie with the bad
Yes.
teeth.
Campfire Barbie, you know?
I'm going to...
Hooker Barbie.
Right.
I'm going to read this story once more, Joe. I know you already did it, but I want you guys to explain it to me in great detail again when I'm done, okay?
Yeah.
The Earth is expected to spin more quickly in the coming
I'm
weeks,
feeling it today. It's moving.
making some of our days unusually short. On July 9, which
You know,
is
it's getting
today.
dark out earlier already.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
You 21sters are screwed.
You know what you notice, Joe, when you live in the country and you decide to go outside in the middle of the night to relieve yourself? When you go out at midnight,
Most of us have bathrooms.
the Big Dipper is over there.
Yeah.
And then when you go out at, say, 3 a.m, it's over there.
How do it do that?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know what? Now, this mystifies me. I mean, I understand it, but it just throws me for a loop. I was back in North Dakota last week, right?
Yeah, a lot of sky out there.
It stays light until
forever.
10:30.
I can help you.
What?
No,
You're
well, I know
just
why.
farther north.
Yes, I know why, but it's just when you look at your
Go to
watch and
Edmonton. They can't
it's-
even fall asleep.
It's 10 after
10:30?
10, and you're looking out the garage door, and it's still.
They don't get to do fireworks in Alaska, so instead they launch cars off a cliff, which, if you ask me, is way better than fireworks.
I'd rather watch that.
This will happen today, July 22nd and August 5th, if you're wondering about the days getting a little shorter. It's not.
I'm noticing it.
It's not a lot, as we pointed out. 1.3 to 1.51 milliseconds a day on the Earth is the length of time needed for the planet to fully rotate on the axis. So that's 24 hours.
And a
of course.
millisecond, you informed us, is 1,000th of a second?
1/1000th of a second.
1/1000th of a second.
1,000th.
1,000th.
I have an app on my phone that gives me the sunrise and sunset. Today, the first light was 5:04. The last light will be 9:51:40.
That's here, right?
That's where you are.
That's where I am. I have
you're
an app on my phone.
up on the well lit country. Now you live in Miami. It's probably dark at 7:30, 7:45 tonight, 8 o'clock.
Oh, ask that gal from Western Maryland. She'll know.
Western Maryland.
That's a new
well,
area.
she would where she lives. They would get darker before we do. Chicago
Well, here
Chicago
comes another,
will be dark by.
Boy, I'm sorry I brought this up.
Comes
9
another
o'clock.
3-page email.
Yeah, I'm sorry I brought it up.
Thanks, John.
I was just amazed that it
Thank
stayed
you.
late that long.
I want to report that I'm enjoying that new scooter I got from EcoFun. You know, I had to put a windshield on it because I got a GL sticker on it.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know if I would give them the GL sticker. I said, no, it's got to go from the windshield I'm trading into the new one.
Right.
So I got to get them some
Little transfer.
stickers. EcoFun Motorsports, electric bike capital of the world, scooters, motorcycles, water equipment, side-by-sides, youth recreational equipment. It is hands down the most fun store I've ever been in. And I'm afraid of the future of what I could spend there because there's so much in there that is just such fun stuff for the summer. And when the winter comes around, the winter too. It's in Forest Lake / Columbus. It's on Highway 97, immediately west of 35. And down in Burnsville, there's an EcoFun on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. Great service, apparel, storage system this winter. For you guys and gals who are on that program, it's great. They pick it up, deliver it in the spring. It's just a really, really great outfit. And I got the pre-tariff. Tim laid in a lot of stuff pre-tariff. I've mentioned the parking lot. No excuse to leave there with your new electric bike before you get everything adjusted just perfectly the way you want it, and then enjoy this. Still a long summer ahead of us, even though I'm a Royal Order of the 21st here. Long summer ahead of us. Great summer for all this recreational equipment at ecofunmotorsports.com. Let's go here.
There.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
All this food talk. We forgot the best food going. We are nuts.
Boy, I like a good. I like nuts.
They
I
are.
love nuts.
They're by Lulu's Public House in the old.
Hey, I saw them at the hardware store too. Finally,
Did you see the end cap?
Yep.
Wasn't it cool?
Yep.
Did you get any?
Nope.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I didn't have any money. I had by the time I got done buying what I had to buy, I didn't have any
That was
money.
a lot of money. So
Joe, let me tell you about not having any money. Can I?
I want to hear about the
I've got
nuts. All
something to
right.
say about that, too.
Okay, thanks.
The neat thing, they are in all of the Fratelloni's hardware and garden stores locations, by the way. So if you go to any one of those, you can run into the end cap like Joe did. But right now, for all of you GLers that do not reside here in the great state of Minnesota, it's an online deal for you through the rest of the month of July. Check this out. You want the ultimate sampler nut pack? $10 off for all of you GLers right now. When you go to We Are Nuts,
$10 off?
Yes. So when you go to wearenutsmn.com, you can get this is my favorite, the best of the Toffee Nuts Nut House 4-pack. You get $10 off, but you have to use the discount code GL Nuthouse. It's all one word.
Okay.
GL
When you get there, you do that
online.
Feels like
Oh,
that.
When you go to the
Online.
website, you can, and it's only one use per GLer.
Yeah, don't abuse it. Let's go. Don't go in there with the Groucho just guys.
But let's say you're out of state or wherever you happen to be. Use the website and use this promo code because this is a big deal. So $10 off through the end of the month of July when you use the code GL Nuthouse at wearenutsmn.com. Mr. Joe Souchere.
Well, our governor, who is held in high esteem for reasons that I can't possibly begin to understand. Do you realize that now we, the taxpayers, are on the hook for $430,000 because he wanted to use an outside law firm to prepare him for his congressional testimony? We have a building full of lawyers.
Yes.
You know,
And an AG.
Yeah. Well, even the Star Tribune's reporting it.
That means it's a big deal.
The taxpayers are on the hook for $430,000. to the lawyers who helped Walz prepare for a U.S. House Oversight Committee hearing when he was grilled about immigration. The state hired global law firm K&L Gates to prepare Walz for the June 12 congressional hearing, where he was questioned about whether Minnesota complies with federal immigration laws. On the day of the hearing, Minnesota's budget agency sent a letter to a state legislative commission asking it to approve a $430,000 transfer from the general fund to the governor's office to pay for the legal services. So it seems to me that why would he have even needed anybody? I mean,
right.
Just go there and testify.
Easy answers, if you're being truthful.
The state agreed to use K&L Gates to prepare for the hearing. And because the Walz people are trying to blame Trump for them spending $430,000 of your money because they said, well, we don't know what's going to happen. It could be a stunt, a political stunt by the Republicans. I'm really...
So wait. It's Trump's fault that he's got...
It's Trump's fault that he had to use lawyers to practice before he went out there. So,
boy, it's fun being a Democrat.
K&L Gates worked with the governor's office to prepare for the hearing. So they practiced.
Right.
They did Laurel. They went Preeb and
Jack
Laurel
and
or whatever. Was it Preeb and who?
Murphy.
Preeb and Murphy, and then also Jack and Laurie used to practice.
What if Preebs and Murph discussed the Epstein case?
For $1 million.
K&L Gates worked with the governor's office. That was somebody. I know that.
It's not a bit.
Whatever.
You know what? What do you think K&L charged them? K&L Gates. They
$10,000.
They worked.
A couple hours.
No. I already told you it was $430 grand.
I would have guessed.
I said, what do you think they charge them an hour?
Oh, an hour.
$516 an hour.
Ouch.
Hello.
And so, what motivation would K&L Gates had to draw that to a close sooner than they had
Are you
to?
sure, Governor? They can go a couple hours more here.
Is
Governor,
there normal
we don't
rate?
think you're ready yet.
Yeah.
Is there normal rate $200 an hour? But when the phone rang and it was the governor, it jumped up?
It's referred to as a global law firm. I'm sure that for Walz, only the best would be available. So it was $232 grand at $516 an hour just through May. So they were practicing for a long time.
Well, that's 833 hours from what I just figured out.
How did he find the time?
How would you do
How
that?
did he find the time?
Really, John? Now, that's interesting. Now, how many days would 813 hours be?
Oh.
Just give them 8-hour days.
Divided by 24? Oh, yeah, days. I'm sorry. Yeah, 8. Well, it'd be 100 days.
They didn't spend 100 days with this turd.
100 days is 3 months. 30, 60, 90, 3 months.
Well,
It'd be 35 days. 35 days.
I thought you said 8 hours a day.
Yeah, I'm not giving them 24-hour
Well, I
days.
gave him 24 hours.
Well,
yeah,
don't
right,
give them
yeah.
24-hour
But,
days.
okay.
They
Not
didn't
that
go
I-
around the clock.
Not that I'm trying to give Walz any slack here, but
Don't you dare.
But sometimes lawyers do stuff behind the scenes that you're not essentially with
They
them.
didn't
That's
do
true.
squat.
That's true.
I know. Just wanted to throw that out there.
I mean,
what? I mean, what are we going to do?
We got to pay attention to this stuff, man. This is hourly. Didn't you see the firm? They try to bill.
Did you see the email from the guy? I don't know if it just came to me or if it went to the entire staff. We were talking about AI the other day and how it's going to take over with, what we do, like voiceover work and stuff.
Yeah.
It said, God, you guys were way ahead of the game with AI here on Garage Logic. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because we had this.
On account of what?
Stop. No. Stop.
We had Sidekick in a can before AI ever existed.
Tell the people what they need to know.
Can I tell you this?
Let's go.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
what do you got?
I have.
God, I love sidekicking.
Matthew, you could, in theory, do a show with yourself.
You're kidding.
AI Matthew could react to real life Matthew.
Seriously?
I'd love to do that.
Wait, I gotta find my favorite one. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
I know what it is.
We just have to get back to those old school values, don't we?
Yep.
Sure do.
On this.
Where do we
No,
start?
remember when we busted it out on him and he had no idea?
He's looking at my mouth that's not moving, but he hears my voice.
It's
And he's
almost
like this.
It's almost as bad as the Jesse story where you're playing the fake caller.
Billy Pierce. All right, Billy, he's just messing around.
No, the first time you guys sprung this on me, I looked at him and his lips were moving. I wonder what the hell was going on.
We've got to get back to Gino.
All of our mics were off and we're dying in the other studio.
The stuff you got
Read that
away
again.
with was
Read that again.
the stuff you got away with is
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah. Well,
We did get away with it.
only because
Whose fault is that?
well,
time
I
already.
don't know who's
Probably yours for keeping us
Right.
employed.
Not firing me.
only because they come to us all the way from
Marloth Park?
Marloth Park in Pumalanga, South Africa. That's right.
Oh, you want more?
Stop. No,
Come on.
stop.
This started.
Where are they?
This comes to us from the Traveling Lymans. It was on this day.
You're kidding.
No,
July
this,
9th.
This day,
Come on.
1823. Major Stephen H. Long left Fort St. Anthony, later called Fort Snelling, to explore areas of present-day Minnesota then unknown to the U.S. Giacomo C. Beltrami, I bet that's where we get Beltrami County,
How can they do that?
joined Long as he traveled up the Minnesota River and then down the Red River to Lake Winnipeg. And you say down the Red because at that point it flows north, see?
Wait a minute. Read that again.
Yeah.
Well, he joined up and they did.
You got him.
On this day,
I found him.
in 1832, Lewis Cass, another county
Louis.
name, territorial governor of Michigan, forbid the sale of liquor on Native American lands under his control, including the area around Fort Snelling.
That is funny.
Turn that off. Turn it off.
He already got in trouble for that once in his career.
That's a good point.
Boy, you played the wrong one, didn't you?
It's randomizer. Cut that, edit that out. We're going to be all right. Okay.
Well, nice.
I'm going to put
nice
the old
seeing you.
sidekick away for now.
Put that away for now.
On this day,
Thank God everybody's on the Hubbard boat today.
on this day,
July 9th.
in the year 1835,
What happened?
Dr. Thomas S. Williamson and Alexander Huggins established the Lac-qui-Parle mission to the Dakota, which operated for 20 years. was
Lac-qui-Parle, the lake that speaks.
Okay. It was on this day,
July 9th.
in 1902. See, we've turned the hump there. We're now in the 20th century. Boy, I get tears in my eyes, and it just
thinking about it.
I tear up too sometimes.
On this day,
July 9.
in 1902, the National Afro-American Council, a precursor to the NAACP, held a meeting at the state capitol, and business, social, education, and religious leaders discussed strategies for improving the position of African Americans nationwide. All right. Probably a lot more civilly than it's done now, would be my guess. On this day,
July 9th.
in 1932, Carl F. Heidt set up a homestead claim in the middle of St. Paul's Union Depot rail yard. Heidt, or Hirty, it's Hirte, had discovered that a nearly 5-acre tract in the middle of the yard had never been claimed. And in accordance with the Homestead Act, he built a shack for housing. His attorney valued the land at $1 million.
Whoa.
Well, that's all it tells us. I'd like to know more about that. I wonder what happened to the guy. John Carl F. Heidt, H-I-R-T-E. On this day,
July 9th,
in 1975, the reassembly of steam engine 201, once operated by Casey Jones and the last of its kind in existence, was complete and ready for display on the grounds of the Owatonna Tool Company.
Oh, I used to work there.
Reuben Kaplan and his son Buzz brought the engine from Peoria, and they moved the Owatonna Union Depot building to the same site the following year.
Are you kidding?
What about Roundhouse Rodney?
But you know how big that building is? In all seriousness, it's massive.
Well, that's
a big building.
Now you know more about it. See,
that's really cool
because we do this. Did you find anything, John?
I did.
Carl F. Heidt.
Yep. After he filed that claim, he threw together a one-room shanty just in time to meet the 6-month deadline to establish a residence. Not a very desirable address. An article in the July 10th edition of the Pioneer Press described it as surrounded by smoke, begrimed freight cars, roadway above that made a bunch of noise. Young contended that because no formal title was ever granted on the parcel, it was open for settlement. The government disagreed. After appealing an initial denial of his claim, Heidt was finally forced by the Department of the Interior to vacate his shack the following December.
And he probably never got his $1 million.
No, he didn't get a cent.
On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history.
July 9th.
Well, it was on this day in 1968. Oh, this is a tough one. Harmon Killebrew injured his hamstring during the 3rd inning of the All-Star game.
That's not good.
Now, it doesn't go on to say how much time Harmon might have missed that year, but
I remember you and Patrick discussing this, that he did not miss as much time as he probably should have.
Well, he blew the hammy out in the All-Star game.
Because isn't that what made him play first base?
Maybe that's it. I
thought I remember you guys talking about that.
Was Harmon an outfielder?
He was at one point, and a third baseman.
And a third baseman.
Yeah.
Yes, Harmon played outfield.
He was a good ball player. I'm not
yes,
on,
he was.
That was a sidekick of Joe.
I'm not really on much of a limb there, am I?
Thanks, Such.
We're growing boys here, Mom. We're not growing grass.
I had a dad. His name is David Patton. He carved that into a baseball sign for me.
Yeah.
One of the coolest gifts I've ever received.
That was Harmon's quote at the...
we're not raising grass, we're raising boys.
At the Hall of Fame induction, he in 1984, he was telling the story of growing up in Idaho. And his mother would complain about the kids wearing out the grass. And he said, my dad came out and said, what was his mom's name?
Mrs.
We're growing boys here, Irene, not grass. So there you
Harmon
have it.
missed 8 weeks after that.
8 weeks?
Wow. Okay,
he was out
Then he
until
blew the hammy.
Yeah, he did blow it, and he was out for 8 weeks, didn't come back until September, played 100 games that season, obviously most of them before the All-Star break.
Yeah, but didn't they go to the championship game in 68?
69.
69 and 70.
Yes.
Yeah, in 69, it says during the offseason he worked extremely hard to get back into shape, and he had an MVP year in 69 when they went to the playoffs.
Yeah. He's a pretty good ball player. In case you guys didn't know.
Got that right, Such.
Good thing they put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
The youngest of 4 children to Harmon Clayton Sr. and Catherine Pearl.
Catherine.
Yes.
Catherine Pearl.
He was a painter. His dad was a painter and a sheriff.
House painter or a real painter? Not that house painters aren't real painters.
And was later named an All-American under the eventual Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Who, the dad?
Yes.
Was a Pro Football Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Really?
Carmen's grandfather...
What the hell were they doing in Idaho?
...was the strongest man in the Union Army, winning every available heavyweight wrestling championship. Clayton encouraged Harmon and his brothers to stay active in various sports before his sudden death at 53 at 59 years of age.
And 535 times, Royce's dad said correctly he's going to hit a home run here.
Yeah.
So when he say it every at-bat, Richard?
Right.
The guys were doing that in the booth last night, and they were almost right.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost.
Thank you,
really
James.
quick. Well, thank you very much. Yeah.
Do us a favor. If you have not done so already, hit the subscribe button. It's right there on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. And on that YouTube channel, you can watch the show each and every single day. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage. But it's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube. And also search for us on all of your social media channels, which includes Facebook, X, and Instagram. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That email comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at the website, which is, of course, garagelogic.com. It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, one question. $4 trillion?
$4 trillion, Chris. Just jump up and down, just like Danny DeVito in a movie that he starred in with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Except he wasn't talking about $4 trillion. He was talking about $4 million, or maybe it was $5 million, and he was jumping up and down. But $4 trillion. Not too long ago, market commentators were aghast that Apple, a seller of iPhones, computers, servers, watches, iPads, laptops, a device manufacturer, that they have, for the most part, analysts have been very neutral on the company, well, with few exceptions. And Apple surpassed $1 trillion, and they looked around and said, oh, we have hated that company for years and years and years. And look at that, Apple hit $1 trillion. Apple is still one of the more hated stocks on Wall Street because Apple doesn't have its AI together. Yes, Apple does have AI, but it is not the same AI as Google has, or Meta has, or we'll say NVIDIA has. But Apple has AI, and it comes in the form of Siri, not to mention a few other things that always show up on my iPhone. Yes, Apple has AI. Can it get better? Of course it can. And that will take some time, and it should well happen. Apple has other issues as well because they make so much money, and their device is ubiquitous throughout the United States and actually throughout the rest of the world. And it's always easy to pick on a company that makes a tremendous amount of money, buys back their shares, and continues to generate large-scale free cash flow that just keeps building up. And governments want a piece of that action because they're going after Apple for being a monopolist. No, Apple is not a monopolist by any stretch of the imagination. But Apple is not $4 trillion. Apple is now only $3 trillion and is the third largest company by market capitalization behind Microsoft and NVIDIA. NVIDIA hit $4 trillion. $4 trillion today in market capitalization. They are the leading semiconductor manufacturer of chips, or that it's being used for artificial intelligence. Who would have thunk that this stock would have zoomed to where it is from where it started a little more than 20 years ago? Who would have thought that a company that makes primarily gaming chips would be now the leader in chips for artificial intelligence? And they just not only make semiconductor chips, but they're adding software to those chips. And while the stock is no longer as expensive as it once was, it still is on a price to earnings and even a price to sales basis. I would also say that most investors, and particularly professional investors, have missed out on the run, and NVIDIA will be the next company that continues to get panned. That said, it did hit $4 trillion. And just as an aside, we'll say the 7 largest companies in the S&P 500, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Broadcom, and Taiwan Semiconductor all have market capitalizations above $1 trillion. Old line companies, let's take an old favorite, Coca-Cola, market capitalization of $300 million. Take a company, a new company that I've talked about, Palantir. Their market capitalization is a little more than Coca-Cola, and they're the 24th largest company now on the S&P 500. Just amazing what's happening when you're talking about artificial intelligence and companies that are actually active in artificial intelligence and are making money with artificial intelligence. As I have previously said, this trend or the use of artificial intelligence, which should help increase productivity, is the Internet 3.0. Going to be around for a while, and the key will be finding companies that are able to make money, whether it's in software or hardware or both, with this theme.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yes, we will. And we've got a lot more to talk about other than $4 trillion.
See you then, Josh.
Okay.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.